I mean, I think that if you're in a social world and thinking about social variables, you feel kind of, at least I can speak for myself here, marginalized and, kind of like on an alien planet. Um, and I had felt at the beginning, and sometimes still do, the things that people say if they're trying to be helpful, they're not being critical, um, feel kind of hollow, have felt hollow to me. Um, and that has felt alienating at times. And unless I get along with the parents, unless I would have gotten along with the parents anyway, I haven't felt much solidarity in Columbus unless they're kind of the RDI mentality, because it's, like a similar culture. Um, and then sometimes I have felt, and I don't feel this way with the RDI parents, but I have felt sometimes that the other parents talk about all these gains that have been made, that you want to talk about that, obviously, but that you feel further alone because they're not really asking you about you or talking about their struggles and revealing their vulnerabilities. And maybe that's their own defenses, but that part has been hard. And I'm an only child of divorced parents, and like I said, we had just moved to Columbus. So it was a very strange process for me, very surreal, like going to, as every city has, certain places that you take your kids, and exploring those places for the first time, but then also kind of being terrified and horrified, what's happening to his mind. And so there are areas of town that I used to avoid, because it would bring back so many painful memories, that now I just feel kind of more equipped. And it's the passage of time, but it's also the idea that I have been more enriched by this program and just feel more confident, I guess.
I was just sharing with a friend that, and I think this is one thing that's important related to RDI, that when we had our diagnosis, it was a couple of years in, and we had to move for financial strains, and we moved into a rent house, and I don't remember how the next door neighbor found out about my son, but she came over to visit with me, and she, I didn't know her, and she said, your life is my worst nightmare. And I said, I'm sorry? And she said, your life. That's my worst nightmare, having one of my children have autism. And I think that one of the reasons we feel isolated is because well-meaning people say really amazing things to us. And I don't mean amazing in a good way.
I have often had the experience, I guess because of my profession as well, that people assume that I have it all together, right? And I work hard on, having balance. But years ago, I would have people call me and say, I am so terrified. I think my son has autism. Please tell me what your son was like. And I don't want this. And it was just kind of like, and I even struggle when I hear, about the whole people who decide they don't want to vaccinate, not because of that decision itself, but the idea of the other people's fear of that. Yeah. I mean, I don't have an opinion about that decision about the vaccinations, but the fear behind it, and that people are, and then acting like I am able to just be objective and say, oh, okay, when it's still a very personal experience.